Hello everyone, my name is Gus.
Hi, I'm Woody.
Today we have a video that was recommended. I haven't seen this one.
Today, before you get started on your...
Oh my god.
Can everybody see this?
Nobody wants to
Gus, please, remember the comments. Look at what I got. It's the holiday season. Look. You must look. I'm not going to stop till you look.
All right, that's enough.
One look.
You're blinding everyone.
How is that?
You're blinding everyone.
Look at these.
Stop. All right.
So I am wearing pink.
Of course you are. But anyway, this video is apparently people were selling. I don't know where, but they were selling somewhere way warmer than here, which is like
way warmer than your studio.
It's terrible.
I'm frozen.
And they ran into divers having an emergency or something.
Okay.
So let's just watch and comment.
Oh.
Good morning, everyone. This is the day that I have been looking forward to for a long time now. We are going to go out scuba diving the Fakarava South Pass to see the grouper. They are here to spawn. It's an event that just happens once a year in either June or July.
Why am I here?
Around the full moon. And so the full moon is in just 2 days, and they can spawn anytime between now and then they just disappear after spawning. So we're going to go out diving today with Eric and Warren from We Sail, maybe Karen and Brian from Delos, and
not Woody and Gus.
Well, that was going to be my pause. Can you call me next time?
What are we doing?
I mean,
they're in Fakarava, I think she said.
I want to be in Fakarava. I want to be in that place as well.
All right, let's go.
Excited to see this like natural phenomenon. Our friends from Delos and We Sail, all very experienced divers, invited us to dive the grouper with them. Erica and Warren have about 50 dives at this site alone. They knew where to drop in and how to navigate the dive site underwater. To ensure everyone's safety, one person had to stay in the dinghy, monitoring the water's surface for any signs of distress, then pick up the divers after ascent. Fabio volunteered for the first dinghy duty. He would drive our tender and tow Maggie from Delos. We descended into the blue, and I looked down to see what looked like a carpet of grouper. They were in fact here in full force.
Amazing.
The excitement was palpable.
Oh, that looks...
To be living an experience I had dreamed of for so long was surreal. While the grouper weren't actually spawning now, it was still incredible to see the results of natural instinct.
Where is this? I never heard of Fakarava. I don't know where that is, but I want to go.
Oh,
the moon and stars were literally aligning to carry on the next generation of this species. I could see that some of the bellies were swollen, an indicator the prime event was nearing. Sharks circled calmly above while the grouper displayed some signs of aggression. Reliving this experience with you all brings to mind the lyrics of a beautiful song. Let's suppose that you were able every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream, and that you could, for example,
I did just think of something funny. Do you want me to stop it and tell you?
75 years of time.
I feel a lot of comments. It's risky for me.
Oh boy.
Did they say this is the place where all the grouper are coming to spawn? Maybe that's why it's called Fakarava. Okay. I'm just saying that's a good joke. That's a good joke. A little bit of credit for that.
Look,
that's creative.
Probably that name means something beautiful, like angel eyes on the local
grouper spawning
on the local language, and you're like making fun of their language.
No, it's a great joke. Fakarava for the grouper.
Too soon.
No, good. Well, it's YouTube.
What would you do? If you could make it up naturally as you began on this adventure of dreams, you would fulfill all your wishes. After several nights of 75 years of total pleasure each, you would say, well, that was pretty great. And finally, you would dream where you are now. You would dream the dream of living the life
that looks like
that
Indonesia.
You are actually living
by the
today.
way. It does.
That's probably Indonesia.
That's what I mean, how beautiful Indonesia is. It looks like this.
Look at all the grouper.
Amazing. That is spectacular. I want to be on the new dive talk rebreather on this thing.
Yeah, out in the prowl. All these grouper.
Wow, beautiful.
I wonder what the other fish are thinking. It's like, oh man, they're coming.
While I was living a dream, little did I know Fabio was about to encounter a nightmare.
Oh.
After dropping Kristen and the rest of the crew in the water, I was bobbing around the channel being carried by the incoming tide. And I noticed something unusual in the middle of the channel. There were hot splashes in the water. I steered the dinghy with Maggie in tow towards the source of the commotion. And as I approached, it looked like there was a hand breaking the water surface. I accelerated towards the scene. I was worried that it was one of my divers. It was two divers, a man and a woman, desperately struggling in the water. The man was attempting to keep the woman's head above the surface, but he was clearly running out of energy and rapidly. With each passing wave, the woman's head submerged, and the situation seemed to grow more dire.
Okay, one quick pause. Remember, I was on a live-aboard dive boat where a couple came up, and the wife was in that distress signal, and the husband was next to her, didn't know what to do, didn't go over and manually inflate her BC because she ran out of air.
Yeah.
And she drowned and died, and they had to bring her on the dinghy and resuscitate her. So this is right here. Remember, the first thing, both her, if they can't do it themselves, you be a buddy, blow up that BC, and she won't be floundering.
It's one of the skills you learn on the very first class, open water diver.
Really, because you can drown. You can sit there and breathe that water in and
don't struggle.
I grabbed the hold of her diving gear, determined to pull her out of the water, but the equipment was so heavy, especially for one person to manage.
Take it off.
The man, while
Let her
able
go.
to hold on the dinghy, was unable to offer much assistance. These divers were using rebreathers, and the entire apparatus felt like 1,000 pounds. I was afraid to attempt to use one hand to remove the gear for fear of falling with her in the water, and so I kept her up. Additionally, I was unfamiliar with the setup of the rebreather, making it a challenge to unclip. The woman's breathing was labored, and it was evident that she had inhaled water during the ordeal. I tried to signal passing boats for help.
Secondary
After a couple
drowning.
of attempts, a boat of divers finally saw my distress signal.
Dang, man.
That's secondary drowning, right?
How can you run out of air on the rebreather, though? No, that's a
it could have failed. She could have flooded it, but that's secondary drowning. When you start to breathe in that water, your labor of breathing gets worse and worse. You can drown later. You can drown an hour later. So that's a serious situation.
I can't see really well from this angle, but it seems like it's a horizon, a Mars horizon, which is a semi-closed rebreather, which would explain how you can run out of air, because semi-closed rebreathers are gas extenders. They allow you to dive for longer, but they're not. They run out of air.
You still have to bring outside gas in, but I don't know what kind it is, but
yeah. Well, let's see. Maybe they'll show it. The guy is also struggling. Why is he not inflating? Is he also out of air?
No, but the guy on the
diver,
dinghy's doing a good
later
job.
learned his name was Elmer, jumped in the water and swam over.
Good.
He quickly removed the woman's gear.
Excellent.
Together we managed to lift her into my dinghy.
Wow.
This is real life,
They
dude.
may have to resuscitate her. She could easily stop breathing.
Looks like she's moving her legs, so maybe she's still
Hope so.
conscious.
Remember, it creeps in slowly, though. You can go into.
Yeah. They're also struggling. Look on the other side to bring him up.
Thankfully, a larger boat arrived.
Dude, I'm glad they had the cameras
We
rolling.
transferred the woman on that vessel.
We get to learn. Is she moving? She's not moving.
Yeah, she could have. I'm telling you can drown later.
They used a rope sling under the armpits to hoist the exhausted men on board.
Wow.
They were rushed to the dive shop to receive oxygen. Unbeknownst to me, Brian on Delos had left the GoPro on Maggie, which was running, and captured the entire event.
Wow.
A huge thank you to Delos for sharing this footage with us. So, Fabio, that must have been a pretty stressful event for you. What was going through your mind at the time?
Well, at the beginning, I was like, when I saw that motion in the water, something wrong in the water, and then I went over there, I saw that hand sticking out. I was afraid it was one of you guys, because I just dropped long ago. Right. And then when I got close, I see people I didn't recognize.
You did a good job.
And I went close, and at first I wasn't sure, but then I saw that the woman was really barely keeping her head out of the water, and the man was propping her up. So I grabbed a hold of her, and I looked at the man. The man also was in distress, but he was able to hold on to the dinghy. And there's not that much time to think about anything. The only thing I could think of was trying to keep it out of the water. It's unbelievable how hard it is to pick somebody up in the dinghy. You know, I'm not a super strong person, but if I was leaning over, I could just go in the water with her. And I was thinking about trying to unclamp her vest and her weight belt. And I felt that if I stuck my hand in the water, I was going to go fall in with her.
Wow.
So there was not much time to think. And there was traffic. There's traffic in that channel at that time because other dive boats were going by. And when I was signaling, I realized that people didn't really understand what I was signaling about. The first boat went by and they thought I was saying goodbye, you know, and say, hey, how you doing? Yeah. So finally, they stopped and the other boat came back because one of the divers on board said, I think the guy's in trouble.
Yep.
Wow. So
they came back and you see the scene that we were able to bring him on the boat. So only at that time, I was able to kind of make, you know, understand what had happened.
Yeah.
You know, first thing I thought after was, you know, very thankful that I was there and very thankful that I saw them. Very thankful that it's you know, it's a rare opportunity in life to be helpful to the world.
Yeah.
And to be helpful to other people, right?
Yeah.
And,
absolutely.
So I was thankful for that. When everybody left, I was there by myself. All the boat left, and I realized that in the confusion, I lost an oar on the dinghy. And when I went to start the engine, the prop got fouled with my tow line.
Yeah.
So, and it's interesting because I had no idea that the whole thing was being recorded. Brian had left the GoPro on Maggie, he has an arch in the back of Maggie, and the GoPro was there filming, but I didn't know that. So when I went back, I told them the story, and in my view of the facts, I thought that when I found that the line was fouled, you know, I tried to unfoul it, and then I'd say, I'm gonna jump in the water, but see what happens in the rest of the video.
So he's telling the story.
Let us know if you guys think that Fabio
found the line, and he's like, I better jump in the water to undo it. But the video is supposed to show something else. So you be the judge. Did he jump on purpose or not? That's the point of this part. Well, I don't.
No.
I don't think
so. But I commend him.
Yeah.
He did a great job, and to get a rebreather off like that is really difficult, even if he did jump in.
After regaining control of the dinghy, I went, found Kristen and the rest of the team, which by then had
the water
surfaced. Mm-hmm. We went with our dinghy, and Wiesel was with us, and we checked on the diver, and she was stabilized on oxygen.
That's what I was going to ask.
But we learned that they were preparing to transport her with a fast boat to the north part of the island where there is an airport, and with the airport, rapidly take her to Tahiti to receive proper care because there's really no hospital in Fakarava. A couple of days later, we went to the dive shop and talked to Elmer, and he told us that he had learned that this diver had been taken to Tahiti successful with the air transport, and she was doing well now.
Good.
She was stable.
Good job.
So as we mentioned earlier, these two divers were using rebreathers, which is a very good system because you don't have bubbles, and so fishes don't get scared, and you can last a longer period underwater. On the other hand, needs special training. It's a more complicated way of diving, and I don't know anything about it. I just read a little bit about it.
Right.
And but what they told me is that the rebreather has an oxygen tank, and then you have basically you breathe CO2 mixed with oxygen, but the CO2 they exhale
not CO2.
gets circulated through a scrubber system, and you breathe it again, so you don't actually put anything underwater.
Okay.
And
we'll clarify that.
Somehow they tell me that they were running out of oxygen, and they switched to a secondary tank, which is a safety tank. But in doing so, somehow the system got flooded with water, and the water in the system, of course, you can inhale water, one thing which is bad, but also the water, salt water, apparently mixes with the chemicals in the scrubber, and it can create some toxic fumes.
Yeah.
So I'm not. This is still truly conjectures. We don't know what really happened, and maybe some of you who are experienced, who are watching this video, can comment on.
That's us.
Luckily,
so let's comment.
So let me just clarify that part. First of all, he's doing a pretty good job. Let's not criticize him. He's actually, he did a great job reacting quickly, and he's trying to explain what potentially happened with the rebreather. And
he said he doesn't know anything about it and got almost 100% right.
Really good job. Yeah. So let us explain. On a rebreather, and I know we've explained this before, you're not breathing CO2. What happens is you're breathing in a mixture that you can control by controlling the partial pressure of your oxygen. You basically can make nitrox as you want it. You breathe it in, you then exhale. The exhalation is CO2. Parts of it is CO2. Goes down and gets cleansed from that scrubber that he's talking about. Mm-hmm. And then you're rebreathing it in a loop over and over again. So after it goes through that scrubber, you now breathe back in your mixture without the CO2 in it. Okay?
Right.
If it gets flooded like he's describing, and if you recall earlier on, I said, oh, maybe it got flooded.
Yeah.
What the toxic part that he's talking about is that sorb, if it's wet, turns actually into acidic, like
caustic.
It turns into alkaline, not acidic, alkaline, like battery acid.
Yeah.
Right, which is caustic. I mean, imagine if you put your mouth on a battery, the burning sensation you would get. It's alkaline, and that's caustic. You could burn your mouth, burn your vocal cords. You would choke really flat quickly. You'd have to quickly get off the rebreather, and you'd have to go on to that bailout tank that he's talking about. So he said it looks like she did do that, go on to that bailout
flooded
tank,
her rebreather.
but the rebreather was flooded. Now, that flooded rebreather is heavy. All this extra water is in the unit, so maybe she was just, at that point, overweighted, could not inflate the BC, and obviously inhaled some water. What I was wondering is if did she go all the way into full drowning and have to be resuscitated? Sounds like not. He clarified that they just put her in oxygen and she was fine. So
great job.
Amazing how quickly he reacted by, I can only hold her up. At this point, that's all he could do. And I think it was a good idea not to jump in, right? Because now you're out in the middle of boat traffic. Maybe they would have, what if she would have let go of the dinghy when he jumped in?
Right.
Now the dinghy's gone, and him and her are
swim behind
floating away. She could drown at that point.
Right.
And they're in boat traffic.
Well, what if you have to make a decision? Like, I have to let go of her to get to the dinghy, and you let go of her, get to the dinghy, turn around, she's not there?
Yeah.
You didn't kill her, but your decision of saving yourself make that she drowned. I mean, it's...
And he had two people. That other guy was just barely able to hold on. I mean... I can only look at him and say you did a really good job.
Absolutely.
And you saved her life.
Amazing.
That really amazing.
And that other guy, before Fabio got there, the other guy that kept her head out of the water, like struggling himself to keep her up until he got there, and then he was out. Like, he gave 100%. And saved both of them.
And a lot of little good things they did.
Amazing.
They put the harness, the rope that they built under his armpits, right? That's a strong
core
part of your body. That's how he got him on the boat. I mean, listen, that was a great rescue. I'm glad they filmed it. You do need proper training on a rebreather, just like he said. I love that he didn't automatically. I was worried he was going to go into rebreathers are death machine. I thought he was about to go there. He's like, absolutely not. They have a great purpose, but you need special training. I mean, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, the whole way of his explanation was, and his attitude and how he reacted. What a really
and
special person.
I would love to dive with these guys in Fakarava or whatever they are.
Yeah,
right?
obviously the grouper loved to do that in Fakarava.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they're all spawning there.
Right. So this actually ended up being a good story.
So good.
Positive. Nobody died. It was awesome. Fabio, good job. Congratulations to everyone involved. And I hope,
invite us to Fakarava. Would you say is a good idea?
That's not the name, but yes.
Fucker.
Okay, that's.
I'm not good
terrible
with the language. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, but
Rama, I know.
However, you did mention something useful in this video, which was.
You see what I mean?
But
that's why you're going to get.
Well, let me finish.
But you're going to get criticized
you.
now.
I am not. No, everyone agrees.
Go for the compliment.
Okay, there's one thing you did in this video that is accurate.
Like a compliment.
Which is you had a similar situation. And we happen to talk about the situation in a video, which I'm going to leave right here so people can check it out and hear firsthand accounts of how someone drowned because of on a very similar situation.
Definitely.
So check it out, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye, everybody. I don't think that was a compliment that he said
Can
there.
bring those shits to Fakarava.
The one thing that I said right doesn't sound complimentary, but